Live from Washington, this is BBC News. Donald Trump is the projected winner of South Carolina's primary, all but cementing his lead for the Republican presidential nomination. His rival, Nikki Haley, vows to stay in the race despite a fourth loss, this time in her home state. World leaders gather in Kyiv to mark 2 years since Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. And the U.S. and U.K. strike 18 locations in Yemen, the fourth wave of coalition raids on Houthi targets. Hello, I'm Carl Nassman. Donald Trump has taken another big step closer to the Republican nomination tonight. Just minutes after polls closed, the former president was projected the winner in the South Carolina primary. It's a huge blow to his last remaining rival, Nikki Haley. She served as South Carolina's governor for 6 years and was hoping for an upset in her home state after resounding defeats in previous contests. But once again, it was Donald Trump giving a victory speech tonight, while a defiant Nikki Haley promised her supporters that she will continue to fight for the nomination.
Right now, we're a laughingstock all over the world. Our country is going to be respected again, respected like never before. So this is a fantastic evening. It's an early evening and a fantastic. So you can all go down and you can celebrate for about 15 minutes, and we have to get back to work.
I said earlier this week that no matter what happens in South Carolina, I would continue to run for president. I'm a woman of my word.
Well, let's bring in our reporter, Helena Humphrey, who's been following all the day's events from Charleston, South Carolina. And Helena, Nikki Haley taking the stage earlier. What did you make of her speech and her message to her supporters?
Well, Nikki Haley took to the stage here in Charleston, saying that she'd been out speaking to voters throughout the course of her campaign. She believes that America wants change, and she believes that she's the person to prevail over President Biden in the general election, the presidential election. The problem is we're still some 9 months out from that, and she would need to prevail in the Republican nomination. Instead, tonight she's coming off the back of her fourth straight apparent loss to Donald Trump. Nevertheless, she came out on the stage. She said, "I am a woman of my word," to rapturous applause, and promising to come out and campaign and compete in Michigan and Super Tuesday as well. But ultimately what we're seeing, despite spending more on ad campaigns, despite more aggressive campaigning here on the ground, once again she's lost to the former president. But I asked her backers, her supporters here, why they are still out for Nikki Haley. Take a listen to what they told me.
Well, she's an accomplished professional. She has a good sense of the international issues as well as domestic issues. She's got a proven track record, and she'll bring normalcy to America and to the world.
There's a lot of reasons why I support Nikki Haley. One, she's a fighter, and she's classy, and it's about time we have someone that cares about America and puts us first and doesn't cause all kinds of trouble out on the internet.
And how does it make you feel seeing tonight Donald Trump come out in first position? If we were to see a Donald Trump 2.0 presidency, how would you feel about that?
Well, I think that everything he's been saying really shows his true colors, and it's about time we have a woman in the White House.
Helena, Donald Trump, on the other hand, has now swept these early states. How likely are we now to see him potentially turn his full attention to a potential rematch with Joe Biden and start really campaigning for the general election coming up?
Carl, I think to a certain extent he already has. If you take a look at his comments in his victory speech, he didn't mention Nikki Haley by name at all. It's as if he's already moved on. He says that he wished that this general election, that the presidential election, would be just around the corner as opposed to November, alluding to that momentum that his campaign is now seeing. There's another reason perhaps as well, one that he's not saying out loud. That is due to the fact that he is facing 4 criminal cases, 91 charges against him right now. That first case into hush money payments made to Stormy Daniels, the adult film actress, moving forward on the 25th of March. Remains to be seen whether that will have an impact. Certainly for his supporters, they say that whether he is convicted or not, they are still getting behind him. But of course, the Nikki Haley campaign will likely be banking on that as being the outside chance of her potentially securing the nomination and becoming the first woman in the White House.
A narrow path forward gets a bit narrower for Nikki Haley, but the nomination contests still do continue on. Helena Humphrey, who's been reporting for us in South Carolina, thank you so much. Well, for more analysis on the South Carolina primary, I spoke with Jaime Moore. He's a Democratic strategist, and Lanhee Chen, a Republican who served as an advisor with the Mitt Romney presidential campaign. And I got their reaction to tonight's results. Thank you to you both for being here. Lanhee, I just want to get your thoughts, first of all,